Hey, welcome back. Now, today we're going to dive into an impact condition you may have never heard of. It's called the flat spot, and we use it for hitting pitch shots. It's an amazing way to become a great player inside 50 yards or meters. Now, this lesson is geared for the more advanced player because we're going to make some swing changes. But even if you're an intermediate golfer, stick around because this will give you an effective and simple approach that you can also apply. Now, this concept or technique was passed to me by someone who had a great influence on my short game coaching, Phil Rodgers. Now, Phil was one of the greatest short game minds the game has ever seen. Multiple PGA Tour wins, second in a major championship, and later a short game coach to tour players, including the great Jack Nicklaus. Now, they're great players and there's great coaches, but Phil was both. This means he could demonstrate everything he taught, and he was amazing to watch. Now, I was fortunate enough to know Phil personally because he was an honorary member at a club where I was the club pro for most of the 90s in San Diego. Phil let me watch him teach various tour players who would come see him for lessons. What struck me most was how different his method was. Back then and still today, most instructors teach pitching a completely different way. Now, Phil Rodgers believed that the pitch shot relied on a flat spot, a moment where the club travels level through impact. This creates a clean strike with the club skidding the ground through the low point. He believed an open stance or any other movement that steepens the club is going to create poor impact conditions. The secret to pitching, according to Phil, was hitting the ball solid from a square stance, which improved all of your impact conditions, resulting in consistency and distance control. So, what exactly is the flat spot? Well, imagine an airliner, big airplane, coming in for a landing. Now, a good pilot eases the plane down, slowing the vertical speed. The pilot levels the nose just before touching the runway. And that smooth descending glide, that's the flat spot. Now, what you're actually doing is lengthening your low point. So, why does this matter? Well, when the club descends too quickly, the margin for error is tiny. If you make a divot, which you probably will, it's going to be deep and short. If it bottoms out too early, you're going to hit it fat. If you bottom out too late, you're going to hit it thin. When you slow the vertical speed and create a flat spot, your low point gets longer. And this gives you several things: consistent contact, fewer fat and thin shots, controllable dynamic loft, and consistent spin and rollout. And this is exactly why Phil Rodgers built this pitching method around what he called the flat spot. Okay, first things first. This is a square stance. So most people teach an open stance for this, but we're actually going to be parallel left to our target line. So your toes would be slightly left of where you want to hit the golf ball. Your shoulders will be on that same line. Now, second, this is a central pivot. So we're not going to be loading up our right side and shifting to the left. This is simply a movement where we go circular with the pelvis and the chest. Okay, so your head is going to stay in the same place and your weight is going to stay in the same place. Okay, now we need a mechanism for stabilizing the pelvis on the downswing right through impact. And that's going to be the job of your lead knee. So what we're going to do is we're just going to flex the left knee and maintain that flex all the way through the swing. Look like this. Very simply. And what that does is it prevents the pelvis from moving forward, which would tilt the body back and make your low point behind the golf ball. And it'll also prevent you from rotating the hips, which will make the golf club come in steep. Now, what you want to do on the backswing is you want to get your upper arms close to your side. So kind of looks like this. That'll causes the golf club to go back inside like that. Okay, so what you don't want to do is you don't want to have any lifting of the arms because that would make the golf club come in steep. There's also something else you want to do. You don't want to drop the entire left side or drop the shoulder, because that will make the golf club go up as well. So it's a bit of a flat swing, okay, this way here. So flat shoulder turn. The golf club goes back inside, no lifting. And that keeps the golf club tracking from the inside right to the target on your downswing. Now, there's only one other component that you need to know, and it has to do with your follow through. When your golf club comes through, we want to see the toe of the golf club towards the sky. So there shouldn't be any kind of holding on to it, which would make the golf club come in steep. There shouldn't be any flipping, which would make the low point go behind the golf ball. You keep your hands nice and relaxed and very simply brush the ground and allow the toe of the golf club to go skyward. Okay, now it's time to go do some practicing and get used to this. Try it out for yourself. Now remember, if you're digging into the ground and you've got the golf club coming in steep, this whole technique is about just bruising the grass. Of course, you want to let the golf club hit the ground, but it's only going to bruise it. And that's what you should see. Also observe exactly where your low point is. Should be right underneath the golf ball, slightly forward. If it's not forward enough, just simply move a little bit more of the weight into the left side. Okay? You're just moving your body center a little bit more forward. Remember, this left knee is absolute key to stabilize the pelvis. Very simply, from there, just move the golf club around your body and up into that toe up position. You should feel like your pelvis is very stable here because of that left knee is not moving. I look down on the ground and I see myself hitting the ground, but only just bruising the grass, nothing digging. Now, when your body moves this way, the club naturally travels in a shallow circle around your body. And at the bottom, that vertical speed slows, just like that airliner easing into that smooth landing. Now, this is just the first video. In the next, we're going to explore how to apply the flat spot consistently in your short game. I'll see you in the next video.